Hello. So as you can see, this is going to be our first impressions. Mine and Pete, Snestastic. Hello, Pete.
Hello, Steve.
Hello. First impressions of Captain America: Civil War, which we both saw.
It's a good start.
Which we both saw. This is going to be car crash tully, which we both saw this afternoon. And I think it's safe to say that we both really enjoyed it. So we wanted to get our first impressions of the movie out there, the storyline, the cast, the actors, the characters, everything about the film. We are going to, obviously, because like I said to Pete before, I can't keep my mouth shut. So this is going to be spoiler-ridden. And, yeah, so if you haven't seen the film, or you've got no intention to see the film, or, sorry, if you haven't seen the film, and you really want to see the film, please come back when you have seen the film and watch this video. If you have seen the film, or you're not interested in seeing the film, then this is the first impressions for you. Right, so we're going to start off with with a brief storyline, which Pete will no doubt carry on from what I'm saying.
I'll try my best. I'll be honest, there's so much that happens in the film, it's trying to keep track of it, and I feel like I need to watch it a second time today. But yeah, right, so basically, I mean, obviously, if anyone's seen the film, I know what happens, but a quick synopsis for anyone who hasn't seen it and decided to watch this video. Film begins where Captain America is in Africa. He's on a mission. He's trying to track down, what's it, Crossbones he's called, isn't he? Yeah.
Crossbones is the guy from
in the lift in Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Frank Grillo.
Frank Grillo, yeah. Brock, his name was, I think.
Yeah. And basically, he beats the shit out of him. And then an incident happens where Scarlet Witch, she tries to stop him, blows up a building, which then causes the issue between Tony and Steve, because the government then want to put some regulations in place to control the Avengers because they feel like they're a danger to the world. And then the whole film is essentially about Steve and Tony on both sides of the argument, where Tony wants to sign the agreement because he feels it's the right way to do. They need some kind of constraint, whereas Steve doesn't believe in that, and he feels like he can't stop himself doing the right thing. That's the essential basics of it. They also, of course, bring in new characters, a new Spider-Man, and they also bring in Black Panther, which is due to the African situation, because later on in the film, his father, who's the king of Wakanda, gets killed. He's the prince, becomes the king, becomes Black Panther, and kicks the shit out of people.
Black Panther is a wicked. We'll talk about the characters in a bit, but yeah, again, the kind of storyline is very similar in that respect to another love of ours, Batman, Superman.
Oh, yes.
And no, we're not DC Marvel fanboys before anybody blates us for that. We are just two film critics or film lovers, film goers that happen to enjoy the same films. So yeah, no, there's no actions without repercussions, which you can't fly through New York City and take down sort of like skyscrapers and everything without any sort of repercussions. So I happen to really like the storyline because it closely follows on from pretty much every sort of Marvel film where things get destroyed and everything. So it is a great great storyline, a very realistic storyline, I feel, as well.
I think they did a good job of setting it up with the videos as well, where they showed the clips from New York from the Avengers. They showed the clip from Washington. They showed the clip from Sokovia from Avengers, the second movie, Ultron. So it gives credence to the argument that obviously they need to have some kind of control put on the Avengers and to try and maintain them so that they don't just go into battle to save the world but end up destroying things and killing people. So I thought that was pretty good when I did that.
And that's where the sort of like split comes with Tony Stark, Iron Man. He feels he needs that restraint. He feels that he's a danger to people, or the Avengers are a danger to people if they haven't got a structure in place. Whereas Captain America, his intentions are generally good, and it's genuine from the heart, and he doesn't quite understand anybody that doesn't feel that way. Where he's sort of like the all-American hero, and everything that he does, his intentions are good. Where it's other people need that sort of push. Where obviously with Tony Stark, Iron Man, he's had a history in sort of war, weapons and things like that. So he feels that he needs that restraint, he needs that structure and discipline. Whereas Captain America, he feels he can discipline himself or structure himself.
I can't remember if it was. I think it was Thunderbolt Ross, William Hurt, who's now canon due to the Incredible Hulk movie with Edward Norton, which is still something I can't get my head around, but we'll go with it.
Yeah,
he's the one that makes the point as well. And I've just lost my train of thought, which always happens. Damn, that's annoying. What was? Oh, hang on.
Do you know what? I did love the fact that they brought him back, because I thought he was a brilliant character. Generally, the Hulk franchise definitely. So
I just remember my point what it was going to be. It was when Thunderbolt Ross is doing the speech to them around the table about why they should sign the agreement, and he makes that really interesting and quite poignant point about Captain America being, full America, and he represents everything about America, and he's going around the world imposing his will. And I thought that's kind of like, ooh, that's because obviously a lot of people do feel that way in the real world, and I thought that was quite interesting the way I did that.
Yeah, definitely, and a very good point.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job throughout the film, actually, of continually not bashing you over the head, but making you think about, is this agreement the right way to go, or is it not to go, and what are the consequences of their actions every time they go out to battle.
Yeah.
And I thought they did a great job of getting both Steve and Tony to represent the two sides of the argument, as well as having the rest of the cast to back them up when necessary. I don't know, I think it was really well written, actually.
I was always Team Captain America from the off. I think 10, 15 minutes into it, I sided with Tony Stark. I know I sided with Iron Man, and but then obviously as the story went on, it was a case of obviously people do need to be brought back to reality. You can't go around smashing up buildings. You can't go around doing this. You can't go around doing that. But then obviously Captain America's impression of that, Captain America's reasons behind that is like, well, okay, but we did it because of this. And then obviously they pointed out halfway, well, I think it was when they were having that chat where, was it Vision? Vision mentioned that, okay, we've dealt with this, we've dealt with that. However, is this and that of our own doing? Is it been a case of like we're there and people feel they can challenge us because we're the biggest man in the room, and you get people, aliens, whatever, monsters, whatever, and they feel they can challenge the Avengers and take down the Avengers. So I think that's that's a very good point, that if they weren't there, would all these disasters be happening?
Yeah, it's like Vision's like the moral compass, really. He's there to try and balance it out and to give an objective view, I suppose, to both sides.
Yeah.
So I thought Paul Bettany again was incredible. I mean, someone else.
Yeah, very good, very good. He's was he in Morse? He was Inspector Morse, wasn't he?
He was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'd always liked him in that. So, yeah. No, he's a good actor, and it's a very good character as well, Vision. Because, like you said, he's extremely powerful. Yet his dilemma, his moral dilemma, is very much, and he can always see three sides of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, but which one's right and wrong? Because there's right on there and there's wrong on there. Yeah, there's right on there and there's wrong on there. So, yeah, great character.
As the point made throughout the film as well, is if they do sign the agreement, the rules can be tweaked, whether it's in your favour or not. So that's the reason not to sign it.
We saw that in the Winter Soldier, didn't we? With the near the end where, no, it was the Avengers. Sorry, Avengers, where Samuel Jackson's talking to that panel of three people, and they're very much like, no, you'll be coming under our control, and he's like, basically, fuck you, which was the ending of the Avengers that he wanted. However, then when the facts are laid out to say okay, well, you ruined this, you've done that, you've done that. Half of the team, half of the Avengers, well, probably not half of the Avengers, but obviously they've sort of like picked people in, i.e. Superman, Spider-Man.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, so Superman, that's it, end of.
Yeah.
Who would win? The Avengers versus Superman?
Superman. Every time.
Naturally.
I say that there was a serious BBS moment in this film with obviously Cap and Iron Man, and it was essentially like mechanized Batman fighting Superman to a degree. I was like, yeah, there's a lot of comparisons with this film. You know?
I was quite surprised in regards to going back to the storyline. There's a part in the film where they kind of all accidentally meet at the airport. Not accidentally, but obviously.
Yeah, I didn't think that was well explained, really.
No, it wasn't. It was very, very weakly explained. However, probably the best bit in the film. So I'm glad it happened. But Captain America's there at the airport. Tony Stark and his team come and stop him. Again, I've lost my train of thought. But that part in the film is just like all the characters together, all facing off together. Just thinking about it, I am like fanboying out a little bit, and like you, I definitely need to see it again. But I love the whole sort of like everybody was split. Apart from Captain America and Iron Man, or Tony and Steve, they were very adamant on their train of thought. They were very adamant that Tony Stark was right, Steve Rogers was right, and I'm going to go Team Captain America because, hey, Steve Rogers, I'm your mate. I'm going to go down that route. Yeah. Iron Man, because morally, he's right. Morally, like, you can't. And something we haven't mentioned, there was a very good sort of turning point in the film where Tony Stark's doing a presentation to people, and he basically like gives them all grants, and they're all happy and everything. And then he goes downstairs and he's on his own. It was a random encounter. I'm pretty sure he knew the lady initially. Yeah, that's it. And they're having a conversation, and basically this woman turned around and said, "Well, I'm glad you're happy. I'm glad you sort of like put everybody's, put smiles on people's faces. However, there's a picture of my son. He died in
Sokovia, wasn't it? Because he was doing that.
Yeah. And he was there on sort of a mercenary mission to build houses for sort of like people that didn't have houses, and then basically you killed him, because you went there and you destroyed everything. So that was kind of a turning point in regards to Tony Stark wanting to sign the agreement and wanting to be on that side of the law, whereas like obviously Captain America has got his mate Bucky Barnes, who was framed for the explosion in with fucking brain fart, with blame for the explosion in the Senate. Where was that? Where was the
thunder that takes out the king?
That's it. Yeah, that's it. So
pulled into it then.
Yeah. They both had their reasons. So and they were very sort of aptly presented there.
How did you feel about the motivations for the new characters for Black Panther and Spider-Man? The way they brought the introduction, do you think he's done it well?
Black Panther obviously being the king's son, and basically the guy that they framed, Bucky. I think that's a valid explanation completely. I think with Tony Stark turning up on Peter Parker's doorstep and chatting up Aunt May, who's very hot, by the way. Very hot. And I thought that was a little bit weak. I thought that was a little bit weak in regards, because obviously Peter Parker or Spider-Man knew of Steve Rogers, Captain America, and so basically a little 5-minute conversation with Iron Man. Then that's it. He's our enemy. That's it. I'm on your side, Tony.
I suppose he did give him all the cash for his new suit, though. So, there's that.
That's weak. But that new suit is wicked, isn't it?
Right from the trailer, I love the new suit. I saw some people saying they didn't like it, and initially when I saw the trailer, I was just like, that is like the coolest Spider-Man I've ever seen.
Well, I wasn't a lover. I wasn't a lover at all. However, and I wasn't a lover not because of the suit, just because of the eyes. And I wondered what all that was about. So
that's the thing that really drew me in. I was like, the eyes look really cool.
But this is the thing. In the trailer, it didn't really explain the eyes, so on and so forth. But in the movie, they obviously made, Tony Stark obviously makes an issue about Spider-Man wearing goggles. And which again is a very funny bit in the film, where he turns around and says, "Oh, you won't be like saving anybody's lives in that onesie," and basically like Peter Parker, has only been Spider-Man for 6 months, so he's in that kind of stage where the human spider, Tobey Maguire, goes wrestling. So he's kind of in that new stage where he's made his own uniform, he's made his own goggles and everything like that. So, the kind of the reasoning behind Spidey taking Iron Man's side, no. Black Panther, yes, you killed my dad, that's it. But then with Black Panther, he's obviously a very diplomatic person. He shows that near the end. So surely he would have been able to see somebody's side. And why is Captain America protecting him? Why is this going on and so on? Surely he'd have been a bit more savvy in regards to that.
Yeah, I think that was one good thing I liked about Black Panther, actually, was that at the end of the film, you do get to see that he's not just going to straight up kill people or beat them down. If he can, he will save people, and as you said, be more diplomatic about it. And I think that's more the politician in him and the prince / king. So he was more inclined to say, well, actually, looking long term, it's better that I don't kill this person, and we can actually use him for information or whatever we want to do with him going forward, which I thought was really good. I thought Spider-Man is a bit... I like the YouTube video. I thought that was really clever. To make it like very current. Yeah. And I suppose you could really say that the only reason he joined Tony was because A, he funded his suit and his grant, and that B, he's more impressionable because Tony's this massive mega star, and he was a bit overwhelmed by the fame. And I also got the impression that when he was in the fight, he wasn't taking it seriously anyway. He didn't really have a grudge against Captain America. Didn't know about the Accord or anything. He just wanted to have a bit of fun.
Completely not. I mean, I will go out. I don't know if you agree with this, but Tom Holland, best Spider-Man yet?
Yeah, cinematically, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't like Tobey Maguire anyway. He's got a face that you just want to punch.
You know what? I quite like him, but this is a conversation for another day. I especially like 3 as well, which again is a great fanboy.
Do you like Amazing Spider-Man 2?
No, hate it. That is a pile of turd that should not be on my Blu-ray shelf. It isn't as well. I thought Tom Holland was the perfect Spider Boy, and he was a kid. He was like a nervous kid with kind of like he's got these superpowers and everything like that. But he's very agitated. He's very sort of naive in regards to the ways of the world. And again, like you mentioned, when they were having the fight at the airport, he was talking to characters. And was it Captain America that turned around?
When he says, "There's not usually this much talking in fights."
Yeah. I don't know how many fights you've been in, but there's not usually this much talking in it, which I thought was funny as hell. That's badass as well. Like his fighting skills.
The best bit of all that, Empire Strikes Back. That was the coolest. I thought that was so cool.
Fucking hilarious. Did you ever see this really old film? The Empire Strikes Back.
Look at it. I can't remember who it was that said it. That says, "How old's this kid?" And Tony's like, "I don't know. I haven't carbon dated it."
Yeah, that's it. I think that was.
Was it War Machine?
War Machine. It was War Machine. Yeah. That was good. Fucking absolutely hilarious, that bit. And with that in mind, Ant-Man.
Best thing of the film for me. I forgot he was in it.
So good.
Yeah, when he comes out the van, I was like, oh shit, I forgot Paul Rudd's in this.
Yeah.
He was so. I don't even know where to begin with that. It's like when he's inside Iron Man's suit, when he becomes absolutely huge.
Yeah.
But the thing that made me laugh is when he hands Steve that little toy truck, and he's like throwing it at that, and he throws it, and it goes boom, and he's like, oh, I thought it was a water truck.
big gas canister like blows out his face.
I love that because as he's coming towards the War Machine, he's like, oh, come on.
No, I loved Ant-Man film, and he's very good. He's a very good actor in that sort of sense. No, I really enjoyed that. Again, another sort of laugh out loud moment is when Tony Stark's walking around the prison, and he's talking to Hawkeye and everybody. He goes over and Paul Rudd says something to him. He's like, "Oh, look who it is, so and so, the big I am." And Tony Stark looks at him and he goes, "And you are?" who are you? Dear. Very good. So, in regards to characters, obviously we've kind of brushed on the storyline, which basically is somebody out to avenge for the death of his family, and he wanted to sort of like get people biting each other and sort of like destroying somebody from the inside. So sort of bringing their morals into question and getting them to fight each other, because let's face it, nobody can destroy the Avengers as a collective. But if you get them fighting each other, then obviously you can get to sort of desired effect that they can pretty much destroy each other. So, in regards to the characters, what was your favourite character?
Well, I would say Ant-Man, but I've got a few because I think Black Panther is a massive standout because they did such a good job with him. I think like the outfit was great, the claws were great. I love his acrobatics and his combat was incredible. The one scene for me was the parkour moment with him and Winter Soldier when they're chasing down through the streets and they're dropping down buildings. And that bit when Winter Soldier grabs that motorbike, spins it around and drives up, I was like,
quality.
Oh, I just saw that. The way the film was shot was just unbelievable. It's literally one of them films where you sit there and you go, just like Winter Soldier. I'm like, I don't understand how they did that. It's like, I need to see the behind the scenes. But yeah, I'd say Black Panther, Ant-Man, Scarlet Witch, massive fan of her still. I think she's fantastic.
And why is that?
Well, not just because she's absolutely stunning, obviously, but I actually do like the character as well. I think she's quite cool.
Yeah.
All times stand there.
She's very much, she's got all this power, which again, at the end of the Avengers, for me, Vision was the most powerful, superhero, superhuman out there, and Scarlet Witch seems to have control of him. And then there's elements of that film where it's kind of he has feelings for her, and he wants to look after her and wants to protect her and everything like that. I think that's a real good building of his character as well. But Scarlet Witch, Scarlet Witch, I think she's probably got the most power. She's the Jean Grey of the Avengers, isn't she?
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, she's the one that could go on and boom, or bring balance to the Force.
It was good as well. It was good in Age of Ultron that they got rid of Quicksilver, because I didn't like that character. I think in both that and X-Men, I thought both versions I don't like. So I was glad they killed him off and kept her instead. Yeah.
This I mean, both films came out the same year, didn't they? So it was never going to work. That there was always going to be, and because X-Men came out before, I believe, and that Quicksilver was very, very funny, characteristic, a really sort of like good character. They were always going to struggle with having him in the Avengers as well. So.
Flash syndrome as well, because I couldn't get on with Flash for a long time. So all I think is, they can just run fast, so what? But now I'm like a massive Flash fan, so maybe eventually I might get to like Quicksilver. But...
Yeah. in the X-Men. Of course.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence about that. The trailer I saw today was a lot better, but I still don't know.
What trailers? What trailers did you see?
They give us Apocalypse. They give us Ninja Turtles, which was Cinema Night, and Rogue One, which was fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
On a side note, I did sit there thinking, I wonder if anybody in here actually understands that's a prequel and knows what it's about. Like people are just watching it go, what?
The ironic thing is there, Pete, is Spider-Man. The Empire Strikes Back joke that we just had. Empire Strikes Back is a really old film. I think people like me and you need to realise that we're now middle-aged or possibly a little bit older, but we don't obviously think that way. We are just Pete and Steve, and everybody watching is like, you are who you are. But I guess looking back on it, this is where they're sort of like starting to remake the films that we grew up on.
Exactly, yeah.
Back in the day, things like the only one that comes to mind is DOA, Dead on Arrival with Dennis Quaid.
Okay.
I think that came out in fantastic film, brilliant film. I think that came out in '85. It might have been later, but that was a remake of a 1976 film or something. So, I think we just need to accept times of passed by. that's not the right word in it, but yeah. And ironically, before this conversation, we were talking about kids in cinemas with their phones, and us being the grumpy old men that tell them off. So we've turned into grumpy old men, mate. I think.
Absolutely. So, which ones were your favourite characters in the film?
I think my favourite character, for the brief time that he's on screen, is Spider-Man. Sorry, I will take that back. Peter Parker. I thought he'd done a really good Peter Parker. He'd done a really good Spider-Man as well. But and it was quite pleasant because I didn't know how much of the screen time he would have. Thought he might be just a flash in the pan, where he just turns up and hey, yeah, great on Spidey. Then I'm off.
Yeah, it could have been just the trailer there where he takes the shield from Cap.
Yeah.
It could have been simple as that. So yeah.
I thought he's a really good character. I'm kind of swaying towards Ant-Man as well because he's just, he's just class. Oh, and again, when I say Spider-Man and Ant-Man, I could possibly say Captain America as well. I could possibly say Black Panther as well. I could say Hawkeye. He was really good in it.
The last couple of films.
Yeah, even though he had a really small part in it. I liked Falcon as well. I thought he was a really good character in it. Everybody, I think everybody had their moment. Everybody had their standout moment. Vision had his standout moment. Scarlet Witch had a standout moment. Every character.
Yeah, I thought it was well balanced. You're right. I think they give them all just enough time, so no one was really taking over the slip. Obviously, it's supposed to be a Captain America film. So it is when you've got that many characters, I suppose, difficult to try and make it still a Captain America film and not have it dominated by the rest of them. But overall, to be honest, the cast, they've done a really good job of casting the film because so far in all of these films, they haven't made a misstep. I don't feel.
No, I totally agree. I think they've matched everybody perfectly. Fanboy.
I've got Batman in the background, so
I see a Batman and a Superman poster up there, and a Batman and a Kylo Ren and a Rey. So
I'm in the corner on my own with yourself and probably about 5 other people in the world going, we love Batman v Superman. It's a good film, honestly.
It is a very good film. It's a very good film, but there's a lot of plot holes. There's a lot of
how you look at it,
things that don't quite add up until you come away and you do a little bit of research. And I generally think for Batman and Superman, the fanboys, you know, the people that have been with Batman and the people that have been with Superman from the day dot, I think that would have ticked an awful lot of boxes for them.
People, because apparently they don't like that.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's one of my favourite parts of the film. I will say briefly before we get back to Civil War that with Batman v Superman, what annoyed me more than anything was that people can't fill gaps in. They have to have their hand held all through the film and be told every single detail. And I saw many people on reviews, and I watched so many videos afterwards because everyone was slagging it off. And I was just trying to find someone who liked it. And I saw so many people that were saying, well, I don't understand, how did Clark Kent know that Bruce Wayne was Batman? And I'm thinking, they were at a fucking party at Lex Luthor's house. Bruce is walking around with an earpiece talking to Alfred, and Superman can hear what's going on in his ear. So he can put two and two together and go, you know what, I wonder if Bruce Wayne's Batman. I mean, it's not fucking rocket science, is it?
It's not rocket science for anybody. But that's the whole thing. It's like, again, sort of like films are an escape. It's not all supposed to make sense.
Yeah, you should sit there with a notepad, yeah.
Well, yeah, no, this is it. And it's like films like Inception. You know,
I've not watched that properly yet.
Oh, that is brilliant. That is a brilliant movie. But, you know, again, it doesn't all make sense until you go away and you analyse it and you think about it and you want to go and watch it again. I think that's what makes a very good film. Is you know, we spoke when Batman and Superman came out, and there was a lot of things that I didn't really register. I thought action-wise, it was extremely good. I thought slightly weak ending in regards to if I was expecting a Batman versus Superman film, you know, to have like Martha. It is Martha, isn't it?
Yeah, Martha. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Martha's name mentioned, and then suddenly everything's okay. Slightly weak, actually very, very, very weak. But there was an awful lot more going on in the film than if I'd have went to the film wanting to see Batman versus Superman. That's all I'm going for. They're going to have a massive fight at the end. One of them's going to win. Well, hold on a second. They're both superheroes, so you're rooting for both in their individual films. You don't want either of them to get killed, for example, which, spoiler alert, does die in the end.
One's in a grave.
Yeah. So sorry if you're watching this and you've seen Civil War and oops.
Yeah, Superman's dead. There you go. But it's not really.
Of course, he's not dead.
Yeah. That's what makes me laugh as well. Is people online, like critics and that, saying, "Oh, they shouldn't have made the Earth move at the end." It's a fucking film. That's what they do in the film. Nobody's sitting there going, "Holy shit, they killed Superman." We're all going, "Yeah, we'll be back next movie." I mean, it's just, come on.
You know he's going to be back. We do know he's going to be back because it's been announced, isn't it? So
just like getting stuff, you know.
I'm going to go out on a limb now, and because it's on my channel, I can say it. It's quite weak-minded of people to sort of think bad of that. You know, the dirt's moving.
Classic movie trope. That's what they do.
Of course, it's like the end of Nightmare on Elm Street, when you know, everything's all hunky-dory, everything's sunny and everything, and then suddenly Freddy pulls her through the door. It's like, is that not the same? Is that not sort of like, okay, whatever you do isn't going to sort of have an alter effect? Have you enjoyed the last 2.5 hours? You have? Great. It's a film. Watch it.
To play devil's advocate, it would have been better not to make the Earth move, because it would be an old school, like Empire Strikes Back, where it ends and you go, what the fuck? I've got to wait another year or 2 years in terms of Return of the Jedi. The only problem being is it's Superman, so that there's no real way around it, because he's Superman, he can't die. Unless you shove a big bar of kryptonite through his heart, he ain't going to die. So, yeah.
I'm with you on that, mate. I'm with you on that. Anyway, back to Civil War.
Yeah, so,
after spoiling Batman vs Superman, Civil War.
Well, we did say it'd be random, so yeah. Do you think which one's better, Civil War or Batman v Superman?
Civil War.
Yeah, I don't like to say it. I was hoping to come out of the film and not say that, but I've got to agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a massive fan of BVS. I thought it was incredible. Favorite comic book film so far, and then I watched that today, and Civil War just demolishes every other film.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. I mean, there's been some amazing comic book films in the last couple of years, but Civil War was it just got it right. Yeah, the story, the casting, the pacing, the action was ridiculous. Yeah, it's hard to pick fault.
this is the thing for me. The Avengers, the first one, I love that film.
Yeah, that's all right.
And you know, because it had all those characters, all those sort of abilities in it, you know, and it was kind of like it was brilliant. I thought, you know, the Avengers was brilliant. And then I watched that. That was my standout Marvel film. Actually, tell a lie. First Class was for me. X-Men.
But it's not really a Marvel film, though, is it?
No, it's
a Marvel film. Yeah.
And then the Winter Soldier came out, and that was brilliant. That blew me away. Great storyline. You know, great characters again, which we come to expect. But the Avengers still had something for me because it was all the characters. You know, they were all there. You know, Iron Man, he's cool as fuck. Everybody you want. And then this film came out, Captain America film, which, of course, it's definitely more the Avengers 3 for me.
It's a definitive Avengers film, I think. I think it blows the other two out.
I think so. Yeah. No, this is what I was going to say. Like when the Winter Soldier came out, I loved that, and that was my benchmark Marvel film. And then this came out, and I watched this today, and it's fucking brilliant.
How did you feel? And this is going to be a bit random because this is something that bugged me through the film. Leonardo Russo's that directed this. How did you feel about the fact that whenever you go to a different city, you got the name of the city in about 60-foot letters on the screen? It was like a 70s sort of French Connection vibe I was getting from that. Yeah,
no, actually, see again, I love the whole Indiana Jones, where, you know, he would be travelling on a plane and it would come up on a map where he'd be going.
That's a little plane.
I really enjoyed that. So to have it up, where it is and everything, I like that because they're here, there, and everywhere, and it's a worldwide thing. It's not just America. It's not just, you know, they were in London, weren't they, at one point?
America,
which, you know, I like that. How they done that in the first, you know, all that went on in the first sort of act, the first 40 minutes of the film. There was a lot of to and from in, you know, with the bold letters on it. I think that broke the film up. If I'm being critical, you know, I was quite invested in the film with at the beginning with the explosion with what's his name?
Yeah, that Scarlet Witch's face when she did that just sold everything at that point. I felt when she blew that build up and the camera comes across to her, and I'm just looking at her and I was thinking, okay, now I'm seeing the motivations for putting controls in, and I thought that was so good the way they did that. And credit to her as an actress as well. I thought she was incredible. No, I did as well. I liked the not insecurity of it, the what's the word I'm looking for? Where you feel very vulnerability of it. Yeah.
You know, she's got all this power. She's there. She was doing the right thing. You know, she was taking crossbows away from him killing Captain America. Yeah. Boom. You know, you've just killed 20 people or whatever it was. You know, again, this film done a really good job of setting up, you know, the characters in their own sort of like minds as such. You know, with everybody have the opinion of they're doing the right thing, and you can argue blue in the face that is the right thing to do, and you can argue till you're blue in the face that that's the wrong thing to do. But I think that's where it was whole, and then you know, I think they've done a really good job on building it up to say, you know, it's Captain America versus Iron Man. It wasn't. It was about this moral versus this moral. And I think every sort of character in the film had different reasons for siding with Captain America or siding with Iron Man, and it wasn't just like, you're my mate, I'm going to go with you.
Yeah.
I actually generally believe that this is the right thing to do.
And it's a difficult one because you've got these Avengers who are ultra powerful, whether it be through technology like Falcon or like Spider-Man, who's actually got an ability. And obviously same as like Scarlet Witch, who's got ultimate power. And you have to look at that and think, well, what do we do? You can't take the Avengers away because they're here now. And if we do take them away, that means the world goes into chaos again.
Yeah.
So, it's a really difficult situation because they are saving a lot of people. But on the flip side, they're not being conscious of what they're actually doing and their actions while they're doing it. Like they show the Hulk and he's just ripping through buildings.
Yeah.
And he can't control that rage. So,
they did a very similar thing with Superman, didn't they? With Ben Affleck looking from a disheveled building, looking up and just seeing like Superman flying through one side of the building and come out the other.
This is it. And just quickly out of interest, that Granny's Peach tea?
Yeah.
That was bizarre.
No, I really like that bit.
Well, I sat there thinking, have they actually just blown up a bottle of piss and then afterwards, it's a bloke in a wheelchair because that makes it better. I was like, Zack Snyder's got a twisted sense of humour.
No, that for me sort of epitomised that part of the film. They had that old conversation in what's his name's house.
Yeah, Lex
Luthor. Yeah, Lex Luthor's house, and then suddenly she sat there alone and she's turning this bottle, and she looks over and Lex isn't there, and she turns this bottle and. It's like when she turns it all the way around, it clicks. Oh, yeah. Shit. And then before you know it, boom.
That's weird.
Yeah. So
I was on the edge of my seat going, hang on, I can't. No. And then it was like, oh no, it's the man in the wheelchair. He had a bomb inside his wheelchair. Oh, okay, fair enough then.
Have you seen Batman vs Superman again? Did you go and see it?
No, I will be seeing it on Blu-ray next. So I've got the Steelbook on order. But yeah. I also ordered the Civil War Steelbook as well, that's ordered.
Pete, those fucking steelbooks, and they're 25 quid a pop.
Exactly, yeah.
So stupid. I told you this, but stupidly this morning, I check my emails when I wake up. Check your email from Zavi to say like, oh, there's a new steelbook available. Have a look on that. Captain America, Civil War. It's like, yeah, go on then, yeah, go on then, yeah, go on then. Without even seeing the film, so it could have been a pile of turd.
Well, luckily it wasn't. So.
No, luckily it wasn't. So I really look forward to watching it again. Definitely.
The other element of the story as well, which I thought was really interesting. I suppose as we're doing spoilers, we might as well. So for anyone who hasn't seen the film, definitely do not listen to this bit. But I felt that the really interesting way that they kept bringing you back in, like you get to a point where Cap and Tony are friends, and it looks like they're going to get back on an even kill, and they find out that obviously Bucky was set up and it's okay and everything's going fine. And then comes the kicker, which for some reason I never even pieced together, which is Howard Stark. And I'm just sitting there going, I was like, holy shit. I got my favorite, I was like, fucking hell, he killed his dad. I was like, oh, it's going to kick off now.
Do you know what? I saw that. Right? I saw the car because it shows you this little bit where the car's driving. Bucky Barnes comes up from behind, pushes the car into the wall, gets out, goes to the boot and picks up some serum or whatever it was.
The blue packs, but they were blue, weren't they? So
yeah. I know. I think that was the serum for to make the
soldiers. Yeah.
The five.
That was the thing out of the blue. And I'm not the only Winter Soldier. Hang on. So does that mean that at some point another one's going to come back? I know they all got pretty much mashed on this film. But
yeah, which I think in another film is kind of disappointing. Yeah. You know why they go into this ice place. You know why they're going there and you know there's going to be a massive battle, and you know there's going to be 5 Winter Soldiers against Captain America, Iron Man, and Bucky. Yet when they got there, they've all got bullets in their heads. but then obviously that sort of leads on to the storyline, and the action was pretty much already done by that point. At that point where you first saw that first bit with him pushing the car into the wall, I thought to myself, and I was so close to turning around and saying to Sarah, my wife, I bet that's Stark. I bet that's Tony Stark.
That quick.
I actually knew that because it was just before that, wasn't it? That Tony Stark was doing that presentation. Yeah, doing that presentation. And
that confused me as well, because I thought, because you know, we started in 1991, and then it comes to that, and I'm thinking, how the hell did they make him look so young? and then you see the figure in the background, and I'm thinking, oh, well, okay.
One criticism of that, really bad makeup, Pete.
You think so?
I could see that, or it was always you know, that facial imagery they put.
I wasn't sure if he'd had a shave or they'd just done some CG or something, or.
But probably a bit of both. Probably like makeup, shaving, and CGI, definitely. But yeah, no, he looked a little bit not as bad as what's his name in Tron, Jeff Bridges, yeah. But obviously, nowhere near as bad. He looked like, you know, he looked like Tony Stark. But yeah, no, I thought that bit was really good as well, where they sort of like, you know, turned it on its head. You know, Iron Man turned up and he's like, look, there's a truce here. I found out some information. You know, I know Bucky Barnes didn't do that. I'm here to sort of help and take you back and argue the case. And then it turns out that sort of like they play a clip, and Tony Stark and I said, I know that road. But what was weird is, how did Captain America know about it? I take it he was around at that.
No, I didn't understand. I'm assuming, yeah. But this is what I don't understand, because he was in Winter Soldier mode, and this is what confused me. Because obviously they throw him out whenever they need to do a mission. So I don't understand. He must have been, because obviously in the first Avenger, he goes down the plane, and then in the Avengers, at the end of the first Avenger, he wakes up in New York and breaks free in like 2011. So he wasn't around in 91. So you've got to assume that Nick Fury or somebody told him, because in the Winter Soldier, Bucky doesn't know who Steve is and he's brainwashed.
Yeah,
that was a bit odd. Yeah, that's a bit of that needs a bit of explaining, I think there.
Yeah, the film shit. It doesn't explain itself. What? Yeah. Pile of crap.
Exactly. We'll read that, because that kind of one does what I said earlier.
No, there was quite a few sort of like little twisty moments, wasn't there? It's
you know, the guy set Bucky up, and he calls the maid that needs to bring the coffee up to the room, and then they find a bloke in the bath, and they piece it all together, and they find the prosthetics, and they find out the other guy was the one who pretends to be Bucky. Yeah, he has a phone call at the end, and there's a woman on the end of the phone. I got the impression that that's Howard Stark's wife, and that he didn't kill her. He just, because all he sees him put his hand around her throat, so you don't actually see the Winter Soldier kill her. I don't know. He sounded like her.
Who gets the phone call?
The guy who's in the hotel room, the one who set Bucky up.
That was his wife. That was his wife. He's kept a voicemail on there. Probably the last voicemail that she left.
That's where
that was his motivation for doing all this. Where he sort of like checked it at the airport and checked it. Yeah. That's very hard, but you know, I think that's the last thing he wanted to hear before he blew his brains out. You know, that type of thing. So, and then you know, and then a little clever bit at the end with Martin. What's his name from The Office? And I said, yeah.
It's quite good.
Yeah, how does it feel to know that you've lost and everything? And then he turned around and says, "Have I?"
Yeah, that was great. That was.
Yeah, then it sort of goes back to the letter that, you know, Captain America, which the ultimate spoiler you are going to tell me, because I actually walked out.
Oh, right, okay.
And so, and what we'll do, we'll end on this one because this is near the end of the film. So I hope we spoiled everything for you if you watched it, including like Inception.
I haven't. Yeah, I think the good thing about the film is you can talk about the film, and there's still absolutely tons in the film that we haven't talked about today that people will still get surprised by.
Yeah.
It's a really well-made film. In that respect, look, the trailers don't give it all away. I was absolutely surprised how much they didn't show you in the trailers. And I forgot about like the fight between Captain America and Iron Man and Bucky at the end. And because I forgot about that, I didn't see the Howard Stark moment coming, which was great. So it was more shock.
This is right. Okay. You say that. In regards to the trailer, you see quite a bit of that battle. You see quite a bit of that fight between the three of them, and up until that point, where Tony Stark's all like, "No, Steve, you're right. Bucky, come down. So on and so forth." That bit hadn't happened, so I was like, "Okay, so there's definitely going to be something. There's definitely going to be something." So in regards to that, the trailer did spoil that for me. In regards to, because coming up to like 2 hours at that point, it's like, okay, that's the end of the film. He's going to go there. 5 Winter Soldiers are going to come out and they're going to kick out. Yet I was still waiting for that little mini battle, so it was like, what's going to happen here? So,
I forgot about that fight. I forgot that Ant-Man was in the film, and I also forgot that Martin Freeman was in the film until he turned up, and I was like, "The hell's John Watson doing in this?" And I thought, "Oh yeah,
good character." I do like Martin Freeman.
The American accent was good.
Yeah,
Americans will tell us different.
Yeah, even though he's very much the same person, whatever character he plays.
Absolutely, yeah.
So he's very sort of like Keanu Reeves in that respect. Bill and Ted do the Matrix.
Great though, John Wick. Yeah.
Oh, John Wick is an amazing film.
And did you know that the second unit directors on this film were the people that did John Wick?
Yeah, the fight sequences, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's brilliant. And it shows them in the action sequences. Some of the best I've seen in the comic book film. There's still a lot of that annoying up close shaky camera. It's so bloody fast that you can stick a blur in their face. That annoys me.
Yeah, I think we can thank Transformers for that, can't we?
Yeah, it's frustrating. That's why I like watching someone like Antoine Fuqua, who likes to pull the camera back and show you everything, and do some nice, beautiful shots. I can't stand all that fast action crap because it ruins the fight sequence.
I think with that in mind, we just need to wait for Star Trek 3 then, don't we?
I'm looking forward to that, Nicky. Anyone says I'm looking forward to that.
Fast and Furious to Star Trek.
Yeah.
No, likewise, that's another one. Definitely sort of like ticking my box. So
I like the trailer. I thought the trailer was great.
I did as well. But I think they overused the bit where Scotty jumps off the cliff and then gone. It's been done. Yes, it was very impressive with Kirk, but not again. not in the same franchise anyway. But
on a side note, are you looking forward to the new TV show when that comes next year?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. I'm skeptical because obviously the last thing that we saw of it was Enterprise.
Have you heard the concept of what they're going to do?
No, I haven't. No, not at all.
Bizarre. A couple of weeks ago, I read that apparently the way it's going to be set, the first season anyway, is going to be set. Let me get this right now. The timeline is between Undiscovered Country, the film, and the Next Generation TV show. And it may not be on the Enterprise. It may not even be on a ship. It could be anywhere. So it could be like a Deep Space Nine, I suppose. And every season, they're going to time jump. And it's going to be, as I say, because it's between Undiscovered and Next Generation, it's not going to be anything to do with JJ's vision. So God knows how that's going to work. But yeah.
I love the sound of that.
It's interesting.
I love the sound of that. Because what if they skip, season after season, say there's 10 seasons of it, and they go 2 years each. And then sort of catch up with Voyager, for example.
Oh, God, don't say that.
No, really?
That's a naughty word in my house, that is.
Oh, my lords.
I hate that stuff.
I bought, me and Stuart, my friend, bought every single video of that up until season 4.
I wouldn't come on my own, because I've not found anyone who doesn't like it, and I cannot stand that bleeding show. It's
possibly because Next Gen and Deep Space Nine was so good.
That, and they got a shit cast. That didn't help. They got a terrible Janeway. They got no likable characters. I mean, it was just awful.
Chakotay was likable.
I've done Tuvok, maybe. That was it. Other than that, you look at Next Generation. It was Wesley Crusher and Tasha Yar. They killed one and threw the other one off to a university or something and got rid of him. So every other cast member was brilliant, but
Tasha Yar was lovely.
Yeah, but she got the black pit in the end, so it was all right.
Poor old Tash.
Oh,
I tell you, I think again, me and Stuart saw John Delancey in Bath. and I think he was in a theatre show, and we massive Star Trek fans, and we were walking around, we saw him, and he walked into a shoe shop. And it was a case of, let's follow the kids. Let's follow him. So we followed him to the shoe shop, and basically had aisles that went up and down, up and down, up and down. So he would stop, have a look at a few shoes, and then we'd be on the other aisle, like peering around. There's John Delancey. Basically we got to the last aisle, and we were walking around the corner. He was just standing there looking at us. It was quite scary. It was like Q's gonna fucking kill us. so we let him walk past and walk out of the shop, and that was that. So, right. So the end credits.
Yeah, post credit. Yeah.
Steve walks out of the cinema. Pete stays and sits there. What happened?
He walked out. Marvel, man, every movie.
I know. We were kind of escaping something, so.
Oh, right, okay. And so a couple of people walk out, but most people actually sat there today, and I was surprised. Because normally everyone exits when I'm watching a Marvel film, and I'm just down my own way.
I think we were one of the first, but.
Well, I don't know if there was a post-credit scene, because I didn't bother to wait right till the end. I only watched the first post-credit scene. So I hope there wasn't a second one, but.
I think there was. I'll have a look in a second, but I'm pretty sure there was the one after the graphics and everything, and then the one after the titles as well.
To be fair, though, normally on the Marvel films, the second one I don't understand because I don't read comics.
Nah.
So it's like the one, which film was it now? I don't know, who's the Avengers?
Scarlet Witch.
I don't know, somewhere they go into the room and there's that staff thing. And it was something to do with, I think it was Ultron, it was something.
Loki.
It might be Apocalypse, I'm not too sure. No, Apocalypse is X-Men, isn't it? I don't know, I'm getting confused, but it's just some kind of like Orby staffing. I don't know what the hell was going on. I was like,
Was it not the staff that Loki stole in 4?
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it was.
I know I didn't understand it at the time. But this one, anyway, the one I saw today was all right. Basically, you didn't miss it. Like, all it was, you see Bucky strapped into a machine, and Captain America's talking to him, and he's like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah, it needs to be done. It needs to go away for a bit." And they freeze him, and then you see Black Panther standing next to him. I can't remember what the dialogue was between Cap and Black Panther, but I know that the part of it was that it's something to do along the lines of, like, as long as they don't come looking for Bucky, they don't know he's here. And as I say, like, the camera goes out the window, and it's all jungles, and there's a big fuck off Black Panther statue. So obviously he's frozen in Wakanda, I assume. And then he just went off to the credits then.
Oh, I like that. I like that because Black Panther movie's coming out next year, isn't it?
Is it next year? Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Say again.
What are they going to do about Bucky's arm? Is he going to get a new one? Is he going to swing through trees? I mean, what's that?
It's only metal, isn't it? They just
fit into his arm, and when he got shot off, he got like wires and shit hanging out. So
yeah.
The Black Panther film, though, that is going to be cool. Next year's a good one. Black Panther. Is it Justice League next year? Isn't it 2017?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And we've got Wonder Woman, which is my most anticipated one.
Wonder Woman. We will finish on this one, but Wonder Woman. She did not get enough screen time in Batman vs Superman, did she?
No, I thought she was so good. That moment when she's like that, and she's crossing her arms, and the camera just comes out, and you see her, and it's like, holding that music, man. That music was what a soundtrack. Jesus. I was in the cinema grinning like an idiot. I cannot believe this. I felt like somebody who had read Wonder Woman since they were like a child and were a fanboy. And it's like, I've never read a comic in my life. Linda Carter's my only reference, but I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is just the most incredible thing I've ever seen.
Linda Carter is not a bad reference to go on.
I've been watching it recently on the old free sat, and yeah, not bad at all.
Good man. And on that note, this is two fanboys.
Yeah, I don't know how this has been, but
hope you enjoyed this, people, and enjoy the film. And we will see you next time where we review and spoil other films for you. And we will ruin that for you as well. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Take care.